Today we're going to talk about more vocabulary notes. I'm sorry, there is going to be stuff besides vocabulary stuff. We're going to work with protractors just a little tiny bit today, guys. And I hope that we're going to have enough time. I know that we're out of here at 10:21. Is that correct? 10:19. I am really going to try to zoom through these notes so that we can get to the assignment. I really apologize for yesterday. I know that was a hot mess, but here we go. What was the mess? Here we go. We have some goals here. We're going to practice using the tools of measurement, basically the protractor and ruler. We're going to know the symbols and stuff. Basically the stuff that we did yesterday, we're going to kind of continue with that. But first we have to hit some vocabulary. I'm sorry we have to do vocabulary. I don't like vocabulary either. We have to do it. Okay? Angle. Angle. It's two rays. Two rays that meet at a common point. Okay, see my abbreviation? Two rays that meet at a common point. Two rays that meet at a common point. If I was to draw a ray up here, I have a starting point that's B. I'm going to go through A up here. That is one ray. Does that make sense? That's one ray. Okay. The second ray I'm going to draw is I'm going to start at B. I'm going to go this direction. I'm going to go through, let's just say, C. Two rays that meet at a common point. What's that common point they're meeting at? They're meeting at B, right? They start there at B, and that's it. This is your angle. A couple different ways you can write this angle, okay? Your notation. You need to talk about the angle, okay? So we basically, when we talk about the angle, this is the angle right here, okay? It's one fluid motion from here down to here over here. Okay, this is the angle we're talking about. So we name the letters in this direction. We could say this is angle A, B, C. And the angle is an angle symbol. Sorry, you may not have seen that. It's kind of like a exaggerated L. So like it kind of slants in with over. Angle ABC, or you could name it as angle CBA. Angle CBA, because in those ways you'll actually be tracing the angle. Does that make sense? The third way you can write it is you can name it angle B, because that's actually where this angle is at right here. Okay, three ways to name it. Most of the time, you will see these two guys up here. Okay, so you need to be able to remember how this works. And you're tracing it with your finger. Here's where the angle is. Starts at A, goes through B, comes over here to C. Or starts at C, goes to B, goes to A. That is how your angles form. You can trace it with your finger. This is read angle ABC, angle CBA, or angle B. Got it? Second one, vertex of an angle. It's the common point we just talked about. Boom, it's right there. The vertex. The vertex is the common point. It's B. It's the common point. Draw the little arrow, there's your picture. It's B. Got it? Let me hear it. Oh yeah.
Oh
guys,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me try this. You guys got it?
Oh
Okay. Inside the two rays that make an angle. I'm going to start abbreviating using these terms. That means angle. Two rays that form the angle for us. That would be ray BA up above using that same picture, and ray CB, like so. Okay, ray A or BA and ray. I totally wrote that wrong. I'm so sorry. Good thing I can erase it, huh? Okay, so ray is the two rays that make up the angle. This ray up here, this ray down here. Let me trace it over in a different color so you guys can see it. We're talking about this ray right here. That's one of the sides. This is the other ray right here. Are we okay with this?
yes.
Sweet. Measure of an angle. It is the rotation from one ray to the other. Okay, this is kind of silly. Okay, so if we have this ray, it's identical to this ray down here. All we do is we basically say, well, how far do we have to move it from here to here? How many degrees is it from here to here? Okay? It's the rotation. You guys know what the measure of an angle is, right?
Sometimes.
Okay. And if I was to name this, you know what it is. Don't lie to me. I'm too smart to know that. Fall for that. Okay. If I was to write this notation-wise, this is a little bit different. Okay? It's a little bit different. Okay? We talk about the measure of angle ABC. Okay? The measure of angle ABC, let's just say it's 35 degrees. Okay? This M right here means measure of. This angle means angle, and that refers to angle ABC. Okay? The measure of angle ABC is 35 degrees. I'll put a little 35 degrees right there. Are we okay? I'll know you're ready to go on when you flip it to the back side. The measure of angle ABC equals 35 degrees. Hopefully you got to take these notes. Can I move on? Can I move on? Okay, I was listening for a no. Reflex angle. It's the exterior measure of an angle. The exterior measure of an angle. Are you all right? Just laughing in like a weird stuff. The exterior measure of an angle, so basically from here to there. Okay. If I knew this was 35 degrees in here, here's a way to notate this. The exterior measure of an angle. All we really do, how many degrees are in a circle all the way around? 360 degrees in a circle all the way around. So we take 360 degrees, we would subtract the 35 degrees, and we would get approximately 325 degrees would be the reflex measure of this angle. Reflex. I will tell you what, I did not hear of reflex angles until about 6 years ago. I'd never heard of them, and apparently they started popping up on tests like the MAP test or the end of course exams. Reflex angles, I'd never heard of them until 6 years ago. Kind of new to me. Yes, ma'am. Nothing much. Excellent. Okay. Acute angles. Acute angles, you cross at the A, it's cute, that means small. Like if you have a cute little itsy bitsy kitten, there it is, the cute little kid, you know, there. Basically, they are between 0 and 90 degrees. They're between 0 and 90 degrees. It can't be 0, it can't be 90. It's acute, it's small. They look like this. Bam, it's small. It's acute. It's a cute angle. It's an acute angle. Okay? Obtuse. Obtuse is similar to the word obese. What does obese mean?
You are overweight.
Yes, that means you are a bigger angle. If you're between 90 and 180 degrees, you are calling I almost call it an obese angle. You're an obtuse angle. You're an obtuse angle.
Obese angle?
You're obtuse. Obtuse. Don't say obese. Okay? So all the way up to 180 degrees. If you're at 90 degrees, you're not obtuse. If you're at 180 degrees, you're not obtuse. You need to be between 90 and 180 degrees. A right angle. Right angle. Exactly 90 degrees. You know what it looks like? Little notation with it. You'll see this in pictures. Little box goes right there. That means 90 degrees. It means it's a right angle. When I say right angle, it's a box. Right there, there's usually a box that goes right there. It's a right angle, exactly 90 degrees. This is terrible. Exactly 90 degrees. They put a little box with the angle. Exactly 90 degrees. Hey, what does the word congruent mean?
Same.
It means equal. Remember that little toothbrush with the little toothpaste on top of it? It means the same. So they're angles. So we're talking about congruent angles. with the same measure. And I'm sorry this looks kind of funny because it feels like I'm writing with a giant crayon. It's awful to write. I'm sorry. It's huge. Angles with the same measure. So let me draw some different color. Let's say we have this angle here. This is angle C. Okay. We have over here, we have angle W. Okay, see those two angles? Angle C and angle W. We can say angle C is congruent to angle W. Okay? Angle C is congruent to angle W. They're the same number of degrees. Let's just say they're both 45 degrees. I'm going to get out of your way soon here. 45 degrees and 45 degrees. Okay? If they're both 45 degrees, boom, they're congruent. Even if they're turned sideways, they're turned around, they're turned upside down, does not matter if they're both 45 degrees. Those two angles are congruent. Angles with the same measure. Angles with the same measure. Last one. Actually, it's the second to last one. I have to add one more on here. I said more on it. I have to add one more on here.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Angle bisector. What does bisector mean? Remember that? Yeah, it means cut in half. So, this is a ray that cuts. It's a ray that cuts. Wow. Cuts an angle in half. It's a ray that cuts an angle in half. A ray that cuts an angle in half. So check this out. It's going to be awesome. It's a ray that cuts an angle in half. It's not really that awesome. Sorry. Not awesome. Okay, let's call this A. We're going to put B down here. There's going to be C over here. Okay, we have an angle. All of a sudden, that was really
Oh,
sloppy.
wow. Oh, wow.
Okay, hopefully when you draw yours, it actually cuts it in half. Mine's kind of, it's definitely lopsided. Okay? This angle will be equal to that angle right there. So if this is like 10 degrees here, this is also 10 degrees right here. Okay? Don't wash off all over somebody. 10 degrees and 10 degrees, right? An angle bisector will actually cut the big angle in half. The two angles will be the same measure. You guys okay with this?
Yeah.
One more word. You have to add the bottom. Straight angle. Definition is exactly 180 degrees. Picture for it. Straight angle. It's basically open all the way like that. That is angle, just so you guys know. How could you name this angle? Someone raise your hand, tell me how to name this angle. Raise your hand, what do you have? That's one way to name it, CWS. How's another way to name this angle? What do you have? You can name it SWC. And the last way you could name this angle, what do you guys guess? Please. Angle W. Okay? The thing in the middle, the vertex right there, it's got to be in the middle. Whenever you name angles, it's got to be either in the middle or sitting by itself. Okay? So, the vertex, the angle, the thing in the middle, it's either in the middle here or it's by itself. That's your vocabulary. Can you do me a favor and pass the protractors up, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are getting these tools. They're called protractors. Can you pass it to somebody? Protractors. Hey, a couple of rules for protractors. Don't break them. Don't fling them around on your pencil. It is also mine. It's also straight angle. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, guys.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a protractor in your hands right now, right? Don't do this. Do not do this. Do not spin around on your pencil. I know it's really tempting. You can be like an old gunslinger, buy your own, do it at home, impress your parents. They'll be impressed. Okay? These cost like a nickel. Okay? But don't break them because I don't have a lot of nickels. Okay? Measure the following angles. Okay. I told you not to do it.
Sorry.
Okay. Don't be sorry, just don't do it. Okay. Measure the following angles using the steps below. Extend the angle sides if necessary. So my protractor is fine. Yours, you probably need to put your little protractor on here and draw this angle so it's a little bit longer. It would look something, it's going to look ridiculous for me to do. It would look something like that. Okay. You're going to draw the angles a little bit longer. Draw the angles so they're a little bit longer, these lines. Make sure they extend far enough. Okay? Make sure that they're going far enough. Something like that. Okay. Second step. Place the protractor on the angle's vertex. What's a vertex?
This little corner.
At this point right here. It's the vertex. It's not a midpoint. It's the vertex. So basically, a lot of you have these little protractors have a little hole in it. See the hole right here? Where you look up?
Yes.
See the hole? Okay? See the hole? Okay? You're going to lay the hole right on top of here. Bam, like so. You know what? I think I have an easier way to do it. I think I have an easier way of doing this. I'm going to see if I can show you. I know. That's what we're going to do. You're going to place this guy so that guy sits right there. Okay? You're going to rotate this guy so that this little line that you extended, this arrow, it goes through either 0 or 180. Okay? That's going to be right at 0. This is 0 degrees. So you place it so this guy goes through 0. Okay? Okay? Then you look up here, and this angle, is this an acute or an obtuse angle?
Acute.
Acute. Okay? So that means you're going to use the acute numbers that are on here. It's going to be the smaller number. So is this 60 degrees or is it 120 degrees? That's 60 degrees.
64.
You got 64? So hopefully it's about 64 degrees. Okay? You should not be at 70. You should not be at 68. Somewhere around 64 is about right. Okay? Make sure that your hole, right where it crosses here, sits right on top of the thing. Let's do the second one.
Okay.
Okay? Second one. Extend your lines if you need to. Extend the lines if you need to. I can actually bridge this thing up if I can remember how to do it. So you place this guy. Okay. Is this second angle, is it obtuse or is it acute?
Obtuse.
Obtuse. So it means you're going to use the bigger number. Okay? So it's somewhere around, well, it's either going to be like 55 or it's going to be like 125. Somewhere around there, right? Okay? Somewhere around 125 or 55. Which one's it going to be?
126.
Okay? So you're going to say 126, is that what we're calling it?
That's what we're calling it.
126. So the way that you're looking at this is 0. Oops, this is 0. This is 0. We go all the way around over here. So we hit somewhere around 126. Okay? Try the next two on your own.
37.5.
Try the next two on your own.
Not even doing it.
Try the next two on your own. Silently.
Can these be like 0.5?
always just run to the nearest one.
Okay.
Place protractor on the angle's vertex. Lay one side of the angle so the resting on the 0 degree mark. The other side of the angle points to the angle measurement. Then you gotta identify whether it's an acute right or obtuse angle. Acute's gonna be the small numbers. Obtuse is gonna be the big numbers. Right, obviously, right at 90 degrees. Walk around. You guys are doing 3 and 4 right now. Nope, I said 3 and 4. 37, 42, let's go. 47 a little high. That's not good. Why do I get 30 seconds of use?
I really don't.
Alright guys, how many people raise their hands gotten somewhere around 37 degrees? Okay. So that should be about right. I think that is the right answer. So if you're, what I'm going to say is if you're within 2 of that, you're fine. So what's the lowest you could have? 35. If you have 35, you're fine. If you're up at 39, you're also okay. So between 35 and 39, you're okay. If you're in the 40s, it's going to be kind of wrong. If you're in the lower 30s, it's not going to be right. Okay, the opposite. Don't play with your big pains. Okay. The next thing we're going to do. Yep, I know. You're the one that brought it up. That's funny. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually draw angles. How many people know how to draw angles? Show your raise your hands.
I know how.
There's only 4 people in here that know how to draw angles. Okay. Here's the way I'm suggesting to do it. You guys are way too loud. Okay. All you do, start off, draw a ray. So basically, you put a big point somewhere. Use the straight edge of your protractor and draw this thing this way, just like so. Use the straight edge and draw it like so far. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I think it should almost always be a horizontal line. It just makes things a lot easier for everybody involved. Horizontal means just straight across, like this, not straight up in the air, not down slanted somewhere, but just straight across, just like the horizon. Secondly, classify each angle. Is this going to be an acute angle, obtuse angle, or right angle? 70 degrees. Acute. So it should be smaller than straight up and down. Okay. Third thing. Place protractor on the end point of the ray. Here's what that means. Okay. You basically put this part at the center at the vertex, and this 0 is going to go. See how there's a 0 right there? It goes 30, 20, 10. There's a 0 right there. It's sitting right on top of my ray. Okay. There's my hole. It's sitting at 0. Okay. Next thing. Where's 70 at? Do I use this 70 or do I use this 70?
The first 70.
Okay, the smaller 70 because I'm going from here up to here. Okay. Place a dot up here where the 70's at. So that's right about here. Okay. Place a dot right there. because there's 70 degrees. Okay, then physically what you do is you actually rotate this guy like so. Yeah, I think you should. And then you draw, oh boy. Then you draw your straight line just like so. Okay? Take this thing away. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, this is what you guys
Oh boy.
do.
Oh boy. That's not good. We're gonna cut that out of there. There we go. And then 2 degrees. I would label it 70 degrees. You okay with that? Are you guys okay doing this? Does anyone need help? Okay. Prove it to me. Do 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8. When you have those done, bring them up to me.
Yeah, we're already done.
Hold on.
Hey, excuse me.
There's a little line that forms right here. Let's label that. 6, 7, 8. The only thing I do differently is I actually label it inside of there. 70 degrees, 125. Like that. Okay? There you go. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Thank you. Here's your sign. Does it look good? Does it look good? Make sure to also just label those inside there when you draw it at 70 degrees. Like that. There's your sign. Thanks a lot. The only thing I do differently is I write actually 70 degrees, 125 inside of there. That looks a little bit off. Just 37, that looks good. That's a good idea. Looks good. Let me see what you got. 2 hops. One thing differently, I'd label it inside there. Those look good. That's your sign.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you are done, please bring it up to me, and you may start on your assignment that I'm handing to you. Oh, it's good. Here you go. Here's your, oh, you already got it. Only way you're going to get your assignment. Let's see. That looks good. The only thing I do differently is I label 70 degrees in here, 125, 163. Okay. That's pretty good. That's your assignment. Thanks a lot. We're forming a line. We're not forming a gang here. We're forming a line. I said gang. One thing I do differently, I'd label 70 degrees, 125, 163. Okay, thanks a lot. Oh, what a gentleman. One thing I do differently, I'd actually label these degrees inside of there, like so. I'm going to announce it to everybody. Hey guys, before you bring this up to me, make sure, like right here, that you label the 70 degrees in there. I want to see those 70 degrees marked in there. That's going to be something I'm going to mention to you. Make sure you put arrows at the ends of all of these, okay? Just draw the arrows at the ends. Thanks a lot. That's your assignment. Those look good. Oh, and you want an assignment. Here you go. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.